Taurus. That was kind of dramatic. Hello, how you guys doing? Welcome on in to your weekly reading with me. We are just going to dive into it. So let's start out with our sound bowl. You can skip ahead if you don't want to get aligned with me, and we'll jump into the tarot. But for those of you who want a little bit of a cleansing and want to get a bit grounded before you are going to receive the messages from Spirit, then you can join me with this little sound bowl. So watch your volume. All right, adjust it if necessary. This might be a bit loud. Let's see. Okay, let's go. All right, let's go. Let's dive into your tarot. Apologies for that if it was a bit loud. I'm still adjusting to it. All right, let's see what is going on for you. So I did already pre-shuffle the cards for you because it's much easier for me in terms of the time. I still yap. So let's just dive into how you guys will be feeling for the week ahead. So you have the Sea card. So some of you might be feeling a little bit alone or a bit lost right now. Sometimes this card comes in when you feel like you don't really know where you're going, right? It's kind of like a lack of a sense of direction in life. Trust though that when this card comes in, you are being guided somewhere. Okay, you're in this kind of period of time where you've just probably come away from kind of a chaotic or hurtful experience and you're moving towards more stability in your life. So it's an emotional time, all that water being there, but you're on the right path. Number 7s are my favorite, hence the tattoo. I don't know if you can see that. And it does represent like your life path, right, and where you're heading and where you're going. So it's kind of giving me the 6 of Sword vibes, which again is that same energy where you've moved away from something conflicting and you're moving towards stability. So that's nice. So yes, right now you probably don't know where you're going, but it's okay because Spirit does. All right, so let's let that be your backup. This card just came out for Aries. I'm going to shuffle that again because I don't know if I missed that. We're not going to trust it. So it says Blossoming Abundance. I'll trust that that's for some of you out there, but I'm going to give you another shuffle because I want you guys to have your own card. And again, I'm scared I didn't shuffle that. Like, I'm sure I did. All right, let's see. Door to Spirit. Well, there we go. All right, some of you are like awakening your clairvoyance and all that stuff. You know, maybe you are feeling the presence of Spirit around you, being a medium and stuff like that, potentially, or doing your own tarot and stuff like that. It does feel like you are getting closer to Spirit. Now, another message that I will say around this, I do feel like just in general, Spirit wants you to know that they are around you. And if you do have a special someone in heavens, then this is a nice little confirmation that they're here and that there is peace on the horizon for you, which is what that kind of door is representing here as well. The next thing that we have for you is a butterfly, which says transformation is beautiful. So yeah, your life is changing. You're changing. That is definitely coming up here. And again, another kind of card reassuring your journey that you're going in the right direction. Things are going to be a lot more beautiful when you do get grounded or get to a stable place in life. But right now, trust that this emotional part of the journey is also important, right? So that's good. Let's get you one more. So you have Lost Quarter Moon in Aquarius, which I do believe is about endings. This says reflect on your priorities. Interesting. So you could be changing up your priorities here since leaving something behind or going through a chaotic situation, for example. All right, well, let's dive into your tarot then. Oh no, I have some of these. Angel, spiritual guidance, protect. Some of you have someone in the spirit world who is looking out for you at this time. They are your guardian angel. Some of you need to know that. An older woman, this could be a feminine presence, or this could just be suggesting that there is the presence of an older woman during this week that could be important for you, like a friend or a family member. But a lot of you, I do feel like this is somebody in spirit here who's really showing themselves, saying that you're not lost. You're going exactly where you need to. You can't see it yet. And that's normal. You're in a kind of this cloud, but you're exactly where you're supposed to be going. They're showing me, those movies where people are a bit lost at sea and then all of a sudden they see that, they fall asleep on a boat and wake up and then they can see that island in the background. So like, even when they've not been doing anything, the wind has been taking them somewhere. And that's what I feel like for you. Like you don't, maybe you're not doing anything right now to push yourself in a certain direction because probably you can't. And again, whatever you've been through, I don't know exactly what I'm trying to pick up on here, but I just want to say that wherever you're going doesn't really require your work because it's a part of your faith, or it's a part of your fate, not faith, fate. How can I make that make some sense? They're showing me like a name, Bubbles, and I don't know if that's someone's like pet that someone's bringing up here. Bubbles. Okay. Does that make sense to you guys? I think part of your action was leaving something behind, or, you know, going on some sort of new journey because likely to escape a certain situation or a certain path. Because that's how I always see this card. You did your bit, right? The universe is doing theirs. Daughter Spirit. Okay. All right. We got it. So your overall energy for the week, the overall energy of the week is the moon. So yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of feelings going on right now and a lot of hidden things. And it's hidden not necessarily because of external influences. I mean, if you have been having a bit of trust issues with people lately, or you feel like someone's hiding something from you, then this could be a sign. However, this mainly just feels like this is an emotional time for you, an emotional week for you. Taurus, what's going on? It's your birthday season. What's happening here? Now, this can also represent the shadow, right? That could be some inner feelings going on that you're really learning about within yourself. But remember, you're transforming. You're getting closer to spirit. So you are shedding away old layers of fear or limitations, and you are getting more prepared for better things, which is great. Now, the message behind the moon is to keep moving forward, which you're doing anyways. Okay, don't get stuck here, and don't get lost here. All right, let's see what else is going on. What is your energy? The Three of Swords. So yeah, some of you are feeling a lot of heartache and pain here. I wonder why. Three of Swords, heartbreak, pain, separation, broken heart, you know, that kind of thing. Your challenge is your feelings, which we've been saying. The challenge is the feelings. Of course, the challenge could be a person, another water sign, a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. It's heavy Scorpio here. And that person could be your challenge. I mean, if this is a relationship, for example, because for some of you it might be, there is a lot of heartache on your end, a lot of uncertainty about why someone did something or why someone is the way that they are. In which case, those are answers that maybe are not super important in your life. I think your priority is moving forward, okay, and your journey. But yeah, this is giving someone had a secret and it got exposed, or they spoke about it, and yeah, it just feels like you're moving on from that. But again, if it's not anything to do with that, you're just heartbroken about something, you're feeling a bit lost with that moon energy, things can get very distorted in the moon because there's a lot of feelings and emotions involved in that, and they're not like the happy ones, it's kind of the shadow is basically what it is. The King of Cups again is saying that in your challenge position, we're having to rise above the feelings and emotions, right? King of Cups is all about emotional maturity. He is above the feelings, though, even though he's the master of water, the master of feelings, he stays strong above it, right? He knows when it's the right time to go deep within his feelings and emotions, but he also knows when he needs to stay above the kind of big tidal waves, which again, kind of representing a bit of that boat as well, kind of staying afloat even when the waves are crashing around. I'm speaking in tongues here in a lot of metaphors because I don't know exactly what this is. However, very emotional time for you. And your challenge here is to rise above the feelings so that you can take control of what you are in control of. Okay? To understand your feelings, to heal it is definitely part of your thing here. So in your advice position, you have the Devil, and you also have the Page of Cups. So the Devil is about kind of restrictions, limitations. It's Capricorn energy, but it's about fears. It's whatever is holding you back. Okay, toxic connections, people. The Page of Cups being here is some surprising news coming away, most likely from someone who could be not a great person for you. So again, I would say you might have to distance yourself from this person because you're going through a transformation. You're connecting more to spirits. There is no faith. There's no space for fear. Okay. So because this is your advice though, Page of Cups, I want you to understand what that devil is and to look at it with compassion though, which is interesting. I feel like for most of you, this is about yourself, your own shadow, for example. These can be learned behaviors, conditioned behaviors. Maybe there are some parts of you like addictions and temptations that you might have, or escapisms that you have here. It's all what the devil is tempting, because it gives you kind of empty promises in a way. But I feel like addressing that is important to open up that door to spirit. So removing fears is mostly what it is. But the Page of Cups, as your advice as well, it seems to be that in order to face a fear, you almost have to invite it in. What do they say about that? It's almost like, I'm so British, because like part of me is just like, I'm seeing this little Page of Cups like saying, do you want a cup of tea? Do you want a cup of tea? Do you want to talk about it? It's almost like making that fear feel seen and welcome. How do you get rid of darkness? Well, you shine a light on it, right? Dismissing it back to the darkness is not going to get rid of it. It's just going to allow you to be ignorant about it for a while and not look at it for a while, but it will always be there in the darkness. So whatever this is, I don't know if it's a person. I want to let you guys, I'm going to clarify it and hope I can find out what it is, but the devil energy seems to be something toxic, okay? But instead of dismissing it and hating it and, what's the word they want me to say? Casting it out. That's not the right word, but it's one of them. I'm almost seeing, what is the word that they use when you kind of get banned from like a village? Like in the old times, whatever it is. Instead of doing that, casting it out, they want you to welcome it in compassionately, which is interesting. Now, if you're dealing with toxic people, I would say it's not so much about that, unless some of you are dealing with, a family member, in which case maybe compassionately helping this person to understand what they're going through could be important. But a lot of you need to understand that it's not your responsibility to fix people. Okay. And maybe that's why you're in this position today or this week where you feel heartbroken, and I'm not sure exactly how this will show up for you. Either way, inviting in this devil for a cup of tea is going to help it somehow understand a part of itself, even if it feels mainly to do with you. So if you have a fear of love, because of what you've been through, or, you fear losing people so you don't open up to it, instead of just casting it out, that fear, feeling ashamed of it, and all that stuff, it's like, okay, come in, let's have a chat, let's talk about it, even if it's with yourself. That's what I'm kind of picking up on here, right? Let's clarify this stuff for you. I hope that makes some sense at least. Right, why is the moon here in the overall energy of this week? Remember that this last quarter moon here does represent that this is some sort of ending going on for you. Why is the moon here as the energy of this week? The Justice card. Interesting how it was reversed in the deck. It was almost trying to come out, but when it flipped out, it came in upright. So, look at that. You're definitely dealing with some sort of imbalance in your life, maybe to do with feelings, whatever it is. Justice is coming through more in the upright now, so things are balancing out. And the best part about it, I guess, is also about truth, which is exactly what the moon needs. Truth, communication, even if it's just within yourself and internally. And that Knight of Cups being there, wearing your heart on your sleeve, really understanding the root issue of the feelings. It's definitely an emotional time. So Justice being here is quite nice. If you are dealing with any contracts at this time, okay, and feeling that something's fishy is going on, then I would leave that behind, because this moon in the Justice represents like hidden information. So make sure you're double checking everything, okay? But just remember, this angel is here on your shoulder, giving you some protection. All right. Okay. Three of Swords. Why is this the energy of Taurus during this week? The Four of Wands. So this could be about an engagement or a commitment of some kind. This is a good card generally. I wonder if you guys are feeling a bit heartbroken over your goals, over, the people in your life, because it can be a card of celebrating something and being around friends and socializing. So maybe that's something you've put on hold lately or not fully embracing right now. One more for this. What is the Three of Swords? Where is this coming from? What is this? What is the meaning behind this pain or heartache that Taurus is showing up as this week? The Ace of Cups really keeps showing up here. Okay. Ten of Swords and the King of Swords for sure. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. What this is kind of making an important decision from, I don't want to say the heart because it's not, because I feel like you had to make a decision. I'm going to speak about this generally because again, it's a general reading, and I feel like however this is will show up differently, but it's kind of the same message of the heart wouldn't have chose this ending. It was a logical decision based on your own truth and what you know you needed to do, or what you know needed to happen. Because creating an ending or going through an ending is, no one chooses that, right? Especially when the heart is involved. So for some of you, you may have ended a relationship. I felt like I just heard a phone call. So some of you could be getting a phone call around that, or maybe someone ended something with you. I'm not sure. Either way, I think it's a good decision. And I know that sucks to hear, because I feel like something's setting you free in some way. Remember, I feel like it was not very stable or not a very safe environment. Even if like emotionally, you could be quite an emotional person, or you really care about loving things. You're a Taurus, you're ruled by Venus, which is a very loving, pleasurable planet. So you guys really do love that. But someone could have been very cold with you and couldn't give you what you need. So it wasn't safe for you to open up, or however it shows up for you. Either way, this was something that needed to happen, even though it was painful. And that's probably something that you guys are experiencing right now. Okay. And I wonder if this is you reflecting on your priorities. You felt like your priorities before were the relationship or this situation or this friendship or whatever it was, this goal in mind. But you realize that your priority was your happiness and your needs, and it feels like that, and your love and your feelings and emotions. So it feels like here, this is the beginning of something new, a new emotional experience, better love, relationships out there, unconditional, not conditional, Okay, well then let's look at the King of Cups as the blockage or challenge during the week. Why is this a challenge? Dealing with insecurities, feeling left out in the cold. Yeah, and getting out your head seems to be, and the feelings and emotions. Yeah, you guys are really going through something. My goodness. Five of Swords being there, defeat and conflict. Okay. So with this being here, the King of Cups seems to be your goal, right? Is to get more stable emotionally. And that takes time, by the way, especially after some really difficult stuff. Two of Swords, Eight of Swords are very similar in a sense that they both have this blindfold on and they cannot see what's really going on in their surroundings. And usually when that happens, when we don't see what's going on, we can assume the worst, right? When you're in the dark, you're going to be starting thinking of all the boogeymans out there that are going to come out and pop out the blue, or we all feel like that because it's just like how your brain is wired with fear. So you are feeling a bit in the dark right now, and it's bringing up maybe a lot of insecurities and getting you stuck in your head. And I think what's really important behind this imagery is that I'm even seeing this card as darkness, but as soon as you take the blindfold off and bring light awareness to the situation, you'll see that you don't need to stay where you're at. There is much more out there for you. There is a key next to the door. So a situation that you feel trapped in or emotionally trapped in, you are being called this week to bring some awareness. Maybe it's something to do with that devil energy down here too, to the situation in order to come out of it, right? And I think it's coming out your head and looking for solutions a lot of the time. Okay, how do I get out of this? Maybe it's connecting with some friends that you've got, and definitely surround yourself with people, good people if you have it. But this marks the beginning of some sort of transformation in your life where you're bringing things back into balance again, because they have not been. Okay? Things have not been very fair, or things may have been, kind of against you a little bit here, or hidden enemies, for example. But that's something that you're changing in your life with a tough decision. So let's then look at the devil. I'm going to do these separately. I think it's more important. Why is the devil here as advice? The Three of Wands and the King of Cups. Five of Cups. Disappointment. I wonder if some of you, how can I express this? So Three of Wands, so the King of Cups is here. So some of you could be waiting for this person to change or come back differently, in which case the devil here is just keeping you tied down to the same devil, right? It's just, the person may come back looking a bit different or seeming a bit different, but it's the same devil. I just have to say that to you. I don't know if this person is really capable of changing. Just to say, if it's a person. Now, the devil, again, could be your own inner feelings and fears, okay, that keep us stuck and limited. So the Three of Wands, King of Cups. Your advice with the devil is to cut the chains always from whatever is holding you back. So the Three of Wands and the King of Cups almost feels like you might be waiting to become the kind of person that you need to become, but they're saying that right now is the space to do it. It's not in the future, it's where you're at right now. Maybe you're thinking, oh, when I reach land, then I'll deal with these feelings a bit better, but I feel like it's important to deal with it now, okay? King of Cups seems to be your challenge to do with you. And some of you, if you're with this person and you just feel like maybe this is the end, again, I do feel like some of you will be creating endings with somebody. So the Page of Cups, why is this here? Why was I seeing it as like inviting the devil in, not into your life? Okay, I don't know how this will show up for you, so I'm going to leave that on the record here, but be safe. This is not speaking about people who are abusive or any aggressive. Like, don't invite them in for a cup of tea, please. This is more so to do with fears or someone who has, some negative aspects of themselves and maybe engage in, what would be the devil energy. So drugs or, again, addictions, alcohol abuse, that kind of thing. Okay, Page of Cups. Why is this here as the advice? Again, it could be your own devil, right? Page of Cups. Why is this the advice? It's got like, someone's got freckles. Okay, Page of Cups again. Queen of Pentacles. And this is really about yourself. Love that though. Queen of Pentacles is it's you. It's a grounded energy, knowing your worth. Knowing what you bring to the table. 10 of Wands again is that kind of packing up your bags and going on a journey that's much easier. Why? Because you're letting go of the baggage or whatever's been weighing you down. So kind of similar to that devil energy again, where it does feel like something's limiting you or it's holding you back in some way. And I think you're understanding that in one way, Queen of Pentacles, you are looking at this and maybe your loyalty was towards, being responsible for something or trying to carry everyone with you. But the Page of Cups seems to be calling your heart here, and your advice is to follow where your heart is calling you to go, and it's in a different direction than where you've been focusing on. And the Judgment being here is again about release and surrendering and letting go so you can have this new beginning. It's forgiveness at times. So again, forgiving yourself, forgiving others, or releasing things in general so you can move forward, like releasing fears, again, if that's what the devil shows up as for you. Let me know what these cards represent for you guys, because it was a very interesting reading. But I send you guys my love. Let me know in the comments how it resonated with you. If it did, make sure you guys like and subscribe. And as always, I will see you guys next time, okay?